First you need to loosen these two bolts here, and you need a 12mm socket for that. And the whole assembly should come right out. Now you need to get your Allen key. Loosen up these two bolts here. Now the pads come out. You need to take an old brake pad, put it on the pistons, then get a C-clamp and use it to press the pistons back in. Sometimes you can do it by hand, but usually not. We're going to need a C-clamp for this one. You have to tighten it down and leave the clamp on, and then you have to open up the bleeder to let a little bit of brake fluid out. Open up the bleeder. Try to do that so you can see. Do it real slow because it's probably going to splash because it's under pressure right now. I turn your head away as you do it just in case it splashes because you don't want this stuff in your eyes. Okay, just let a little bit out, and then tighten it back up. Then try to remove the clamp again. Now the pistons should stay in. The one's still coming out again. May have to repeat this, bleeding it and pushing them back in a little bit to get. There's not going to be enough clearance to get the new ones in because they're a lot thicker than the old ones. So we're going to have to repeat the process again until that upper piston stays in. Make sure before you put the new pads on or reinstall the brakes that you wipe off any brake fluid that's sprayed on there. You can go inside of here, springs are, and just clean them out a little bit if you want. Put grease if you want, but you got to put high temp grease. Can't just use any grease. Okay, now put the brake pads in. First, you put these bolts back in. Not all the way yet, but just get them started. These springs might be in the way. What I do first is put in one pad. First you put in one pad. You have to push it in against the springs so that little bolt will go through the pad. like that. You gotta push it, and then you do the same thing for the bottom one. Just get the bolts through a little bit, not too far, because you gotta be able to get the other pad in. Okay, one pad in. Okay, so now, the problem we usually have is when I push the pistons in, for some reason, there's never enough clearance between here to get it on the disc, the brake disc. But let's go ahead and try it, see if it works. See, it's went on a little bit, but there's still resistance. So what you can try to do is get a small Allen key, very gently spread out the pads. Sometimes when you install them, they're not properly spaced. I'm going to be very careful because these pads will break from pressure like this from this Allen key. You don't want to damage the surface, because then the surface is damaged, it'll damage the disc. Alright, we'll try it again. Finally got the brakes back on. Tighten up these two bolts. Tighten up these bolts here. Make sure this is tight again. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.